Hello, this is Caroline from Stormbringer. I'm here in Vienna today doing an interview with Devin Townsend. So, hello, Devin.
Hey.
So, do you enjoy the tour so far? What are your impressions?
Yeah, it's. I guess this is the first real headlining European run that I've done with this group of people and this music, and it's been very successful. Actually, it's probably been the most successful tour that I've done out of any tour. You know, like, I mean, I think 70% of the shows around there have been sold out, and it's like that's never happened before with any band, right? So, well, any band that I've been in, at least, right? And so I'm very like honored to be here. I think it's really cool, man.
Okay. So, is there one show that especially stands out for you till now?
How about tonight? No, I mean, it's hard to relate. I mean, there's some shows that have been bigger than others, and you know, and each country as well has its own idiosyncrasies in terms of like the audience and how they react and everything. So it's hard to kind of gauge. However, has there been any? You know, I just end up just kind of showing up at the gig and then doing my best, and then because I don't have my glasses on, it's very difficult for me to tell like difference between one show and another, right? Hey, doggy. Yeah. How's it going, pups?
We have a partner here.
Okay, he's here for the interview.
Yeah, so we're going to interview.
He's here for his interview.
He thinks it's a toy.
I got it.
Okay, so let's go on. So how is the process on your 4-album project going so far? Are there any news on the 4th album yet?
Yeah, they're all done. They're all finished. Yeah, like we're just waiting for the artwork for Deconstruction now, but Ghost has been done for several months. Deconstruction, the mix and the mastering finished last week. And yeah, I listened to all 4 records in a row last night, actually. And I was like a 5-hour listen, right? So, but I'm really happy with it, you know? And I'm really happy that it actually got done, because a lot of times, you know, it was such a kind of grand scheme to kind of do in the first place that there were several moments where I was thinking, well, you're not going to get this done. You know, with the touring, with life, with family and all this stuff, it's not going to get done, right? But it did, and I'm like very satisfied with the results. I think it's like a really, really good project.
Yeah. So what is the most personal album for you from all those 4? Is there one you really that stands out?
I'd say Ghost. Yeah, the last one. I mean, like when I listened to them last night, I think they're all equal in their own way. I mean, there's going to be ones that people are going to like over other ones, right? I mean, Key has a very nice environment that it creates, and I think Addicted is, you know, a fun record and sounds good, and Deconstruction's like off the hook. It's like really pretty far out there. But Ghost is like, it was just, there was no drama to it, you know? And it's like there was drama with Key, there was drama with Deconstruction, there's drama with Addicted, there's just drama. But Ghost is the only record I may have ever done that didn't have drama. You know, the people involved with it were like, there's no drama, you know? And it was just, I don't know, to me that was just such a reward for, you know, in some ways it's almost like, okay, well, here we're going to give you one record that's going to be like nice to do, right? And will it be the one that people like the least? I would say probably, right? Because it's very quiet and it's very mellow and there's flutes and it's singing about peace and all that sort of stuff. And no one wants to hear about peace. Everybody wants to hear about how horrible things are, right? So,
well, things are horrible enough right now, so I guess maybe.
Thing, right? But I, for me, when things are horrible, I don't want to listen to other horrible things. I would like to listen to something nice, right? But I guess that being said, there's Deconstruction. I think Deconstruction makes you feel, you know, not horrible, but something like that, right? So I think that, you know, I think there's basically something for everybody in there. But in terms of my personal favorite, I'd say it would be Ghost, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Looking forward to hear it. So, do you generally have one piece of music you'd say, this is the one you really describes you best?
No, I wouldn't say any of them describe me at all. Well, I mean, they do, but only elements, right? Like, I think maybe albums like Terria were like very representative of who I was then, and you know, when I was making all 4 of these records, they all describe certain elements of me, right? But I mean, who I am truly, I think, is independent of music, right? Like, music is my way of kind of expressing how I interact with, you know, the world or my friends or you know, the environment or whatever. But who I am has very little to do with music. Maybe acoustic music has more to do with me because it's like you and a guitar, right? I think as soon as you start layering things in Pro Tools and, you know, and like big drum kits and like orchestras and all that stuff, you're making really exaggerated statements, right? So I think, to be perfectly honest, it's like, which in actual fact is why I was always drawn to flute music, because it's, you know, it's just like breath through a stick, basically, right? And I mean, so that way it's like a real direct way of communicating, right? And I think in my musical like parameters, acoustic guitar or maybe even bass guitar is like a way for me to be direct, right? But all the records are like, you can sculpt yourself into like being whatever it is that you want if you have enough time, right? You can make yourself into like king of the universe if you've got enough plugins and, you know, enough time. So
There's no special interpretation for you, so everyone can kind of put their own interpretation on it?
well, I think that I mean, I've got my own interpretation. I mean, when I write, there's always a theme. There's always like a way that I interpret it in order to be like inspired by it, right? But in terms of like a message or in terms of something I'm trying to put across, like none, right? I mean, there's a story, but does the story make any sense? I mean, probably not in 2 years. You know what I mean? Like right now it kind of makes sense, but I mean, as I grow and as I change, I may look back and I'll probably look back and go, well, I was stupid. You know what I mean? But I think it's like being willing to like fail is like a really good like attribute as an artist, right? Because then you're like, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do that because I feel like doing it, right? But I mean, a lot of times people misinterpret things, or they want to project themselves into music. They'll hear something that they like and they'll think, okay, well, because that I respond to that emotionally, it means that that person is somebody that I can relate to, or this will become the soundtrack to whatever my interpretation of it is. And I mean, I totally appreciate